Hello, welcome to Board Game Madness. I'm Mike Ganade, and in today's matchup, we have the number 14th seed, Azul Summer Pavilion, going against the number 19 seed, Century Spice Road. So what's interesting about this matchup is that we have sort of two abstract, more casual games here. I'll go over each of them really quickly so you get an idea of what they're about if you never played them before. We'll start with Azul Summer Pavilion. This is the third standalone game in the Azul series, I think. Azul was first, and then the stained glass one, and this was the third one. This is an abstract game where you're taking these tiles and placing them on your board to score points. In some ways, Summer Pavilion is my favorite, but it's an abstract game of, drawing different tiles and then placing as many as you can in a pattern on your board to score the most points. It's pretty straightforward. It's a point scoring game. Theme is sort of loose, but it's got some really chunky, cool tiles in it. And in my opinion, Summer Pavilion is one of the better in the series as well, although I've enjoyed all of them. Now, Century Spice Road was the first in the series of games in the Century series. There were two other games, and there was a way to snap them together to make a big epic game. This is the only one I've held on to because this has a really simple deck building, resource gathering mechanic, maybe even Splendor-esque building, where you're just trying to absorb the most resources. The theme is that you're operating in the Spice Road and trading different goods. But this one has really stood the test compared to all the other ones. This was the one that had the mechanics that I liked the most. Didn't overstay its welcome. It wasn't overly complex. But again, I'm going to be judging just this game as its own game. I know that this is a piece of a game that can be incorporated into the other games in the Century series. I just never got around to doing that, even though I played a couple of the other ones. The other ones' base games didn't capture me, or I didn't like as much as this one. So this is Century Spice Road. And basically what you're doing is you're taking cubes and exchanging cubes for different things and trying to amass points and money by doing that, by trading along the Silk Road. So those are our games. First, we'll move on to production. And as sort of smaller, shorter games, neither of these games has a lot of components. We'll start with Azul. Azul Summer Pavilion, like other Azuls, has a big sack full of these tiles. I don't even know what these are, acrylic. They're really nice. They have different designs and colors. And you'll draw from those, putting them out on little choice circles, and then people will take their tiles and pick them up and start setting them in this board to complete patterns and score points. The big thing about Azul is you don't want to be left with sort of last pick and getting all these tiles that you can't use because they spill over for negative points. That's sort of the gotcha mechanic in all the Azul games. One of the cool things about Summer Pavilion is as you surround like these statues or these doors, you get additional point scoring and tile taking chances. And I think this is the open way of playing, and maybe this is how you start playing, where it tells you where to put each color. But there's different restrictions, two different sides of the board for replayability. Now, Spice Road comes with these little bowls that you can put your resources in, which are really nice. It has 4 different colored cubes. The resources themselves are just wooden cubes. And then Spice Road is primarily about these cards that you play, which have some really nice artwork. They're big tarot-sized cards. I think they're indicative of the theme. There are some repeats where they have different things on the side. And you can see along here, these are the resources you gain or can convert into additional resources. And you're basically just trying to work your way up, trading in the different resources, acquiring different resources. You get some nice tableau building with the cards you can acquire, and then you're trying to score, I guess, these orders, if you will, of resources that people want. So, this one's worth 14 points and has 2 yellow and 3 brown. And in each century game, those represent different spices. I don't remember exactly what they represent in this one, but it's like, the spices you would expect in that century of what to do. So, not a lot of components in Century Spice Road, not a lot of components in Azul. For me, Azul lacks artwork. There's no real artwork other than the graphic design and look of the overall game. But the components themselves and the tiles themselves are very nice and feel very deluxe. Century Spice Road has artwork on those cards. The cards are big and look nice. Has some wooden cubes. The dishes are very nice for putting it on the table and making gameplay very easy. Solid production on both sides here. But if I had to choose one, I'd go with Azul, just because while Century Spice Road is very nice, I don't think anything about it feels deluxe. Whereas Azul, by its very nature of doing these tiles, feels very deluxe in nature and is very tactile and fun to play that way. So mechanics-wise, we have two pretty simple gateway games. Azul, basically on your turn, you're going to take tiles from a circle and place them on your board. And in Century Spice Road, you're building out, taking a card, building out, exchanging your resources, and completing orders, or completing one of those order cards for points. So neither is very complex. Century Spice Road reminds me a little bit of Splendor, where you're sort of like building up to get the higher points. So if you like Splendor, Century Spice Road, I think, fills a similar vein. But for me, Azul Summer Pavilion, game mechanics-wise, I'm a big fan of the Azul series in general. I played the first one so much that I'm a little sick of it, but everyone in my house, including my wife, loves the series, and Summer Pavilion's one of my favorites and the one I've come back to more than some of the other ones. Maybe partly because I feel like I'm the best at it. I tend to win this one a lot more than I won some of the other ones for whatever reason. But Summer Pavilion is probably my favorite in the series. If not, it's one of my top two if it's not my favorite. I haven't played the new Queens one as much to compare it. And the stained glass one, there were some interesting things that I was doing, and it's been a while since I played that one. So I guess the verdict's still out on where the Azuls rank personally, but I know Summer Pavilion's one of my favorites. So for me, game mechanics wise, Azul is sort of perennial, played in our house dozens of times. Century Spice Road's a great little game, very solid, but I can't say that we play it or bring it out often. So for those reasons, I have to go with Azul again. And we'll move on to theme. And theme is where I think I can be a little bit picky and pick on Azul a little bit. You have this abstract theme. The first one was about building these Portuguese tile mosaics that exist. I'm not even sure what Summer Pavilion's about building, other than it's about laying these tiles. It's very abstract. The theme is weak. The components look nice, but the gameplay is really what shines. I can't see that the theme does anything for me personally. It's fine. It's abstract. It's whatever. Century Spice Road, in my opinion, does a much better job. I actually look at these cards and feel like I'm making these trades along the Spice Road. It definitely immerses me in theme a little bit more and actually has more of a theme. So for those reasons, I would give theme to Century Spice Road, no question. Last but not least, we have overall impressions, replayability of each of these games. And for me, the fact that Century Spice Road came out in 2017 and Summer Pavilion came out in 2020, I think, 2019. So this is 2 years old, 2 years newer. So I've had this game for like 2 years less than Century Spice Road. And I've probably played this game twice as many times as I've played Century Spice Road. So I think that the replayability in Summer Pavilion, I can't say that the games vary greatly or very differently, but the game mechanics are so much fun and offer so much richness that, we played this game, I played this game dozens of times. Whereas Century Spice Road, maybe I played it 6 times. I'm not sure exactly. It's been a while since I played it. And again, looking at which game would have to leave my collection when I have to put up for sale as part of losing the first round. I'm okay losing Century Spice Road at this point. I've had it for a few years, haven't played it. Says something about how often it makes its way to the table. My wife would absolutely murder me if I got rid of this Azul. So if I got rid of Azul Summer Pavilion, I would be in deep trouble in my house. So not that it wasn't winning before, but for that reason alone, if there was any sort of tie, it would have to go through. This one's pretty simple for us, in this household at least, in my personal preference. Azul Summer Pavilion is definitely the stronger of these sort of gateway games, in my opinion. It's the one I would suggest to gamers out there to pick up and give a try. So for those reasons, Azul Summer Pavilion is going to win this matchup of Board Game Madness. And that does it for us today. Thanks so much for watching. As always, please like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. It really helps us get these matchups out there. Hopefully people find them interesting. As always, you can let us know if we got it wrong or yell at us in the comments. And we'll see you next time for the next matchup. Have a great day.